So how many of those scenes did you recognize there? My co-host is here. Look at this. Normally, the co-host guest doesn't come on until 9 o'clock. And actually, normally, Jenny, this show starts at 8:30. However, everybody, Jenny said to me, so how are you, Carl? And 5 minutes later, I'm still opening up my heart and guts to her. And I suddenly realized it's 8:32. Sorry, everybody. We're just doing a bit of therapy backstage. So that's why we're a little bit late this morning. Jenny, look at how are you? Let's. I've already found out how you are. Although actually, no, you didn't have your turn, did you? You didn't have your 5 minutes like I did. So go on.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning, folks. You garfos out there. Deagle's here as well. Look at this. Quickly go through and we'll come back to you and we will be more leisurely. I want to do a review of the week. I want to do the weather. I've been massively distracted already in a perfectly good way by Jenni B, Jenni Baraka of holi-healthy, who joins me once a month here on the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Didn't do all of that, did we? Didn't do any bom dia alegrias. Everything just changes when Jenny's here. As you all see today. Okay, so Deagle's here. Oh, 15 minutes. Well done. And a hashtag light up Christmas. This is really important. And we'll put that into context for you, Jenny, in case you're not familiar with that. Laura P with a bon dia alegria from Thunder Duck, who goes on to a hashtag light up Christmas. Good work. Good work, Thunder. Hola, bon dia alegria, todos de Amsterdam. Second last working day today. Feeling good already. Nice one, Matty.
Yes.
Very kind offer to Cindy yesterday. It was lovely of you. Good morning, everyone from Gemini. And yes, more chess talk. Prof Eusebio's here with some lovely info this morning. Thanks, Prof, for that. And you're lovely. Well, let's bring it straight on because this is a really important graphic. Lighting up Christmas and a lovely reference to Portuguese history as well. Check this out. We'll go deeper into this later on, but isn't that fantastic? The Belém Monument. All decked out for Christmas there. Fantastic. Prof, we'll come back to the background on that wonderful monument in the capital. So hold on. Jorge Viterbo Ferreira, Grandmaster since 2018. Portuguese chess player, everybody. Another one of these well-kept Portuguese secrets. The Rock Combo Electric Light Orchestra are currently at 2,512. And they are ranked 600 plus in the world. I know that's not right. That's ELO is Jorge's rating, his chess rating, and he's ranked 600th in the world. That seems unfair, or I guess there's a lot of competition, I suspect, as well for that. James is here. Bom dia, Gumpers. Muito feliz sexta a todos. Put in a sexy into sexta. James Holly's here, everybody. Estuda e treina 5 minutos. E claro, 10 minutos até agora hoje. So the 15 minutes thing, Jenny, we're urging people to do 15 minutes of Portuguese. You're probably up to speed on that, but it's working. You see all this Portuguese that's being spoken, isn't it great? And bom dia, cadets. Space. Hello, Space Cadets, says Prof Eusebio. Well, we'll take that. We will take that. We were talking about being different before we came on air, and we don't mind that at all. 2,512 is a very respectable rating. I thought we were looking ahead in time there, but no, that's a rating for the top Portuguese chess player. Thunder's a 1550. I'm 57. And a few people think I'm respectable as well. I think there's crossed wires in the comments. Michael Whitby, thank you for your photos. We'll show those as well. Actually, let's do them now because they're really rather good. We're going to be much more relaxed about the news and the weather. You know what? We might not even do the weather. You tell us what the weather's like. So that's dealt with that, as Michael is doing here. 4 degrees. Might have a look at the news to see if there's any good news. We shouldn't take long because it probably won't be, apart from what we generate here on the Feel Good Friday show. So where are your lovely pictures there? Okay, Michael Whitby, bom dia a todos, from Évora. Desde Évora Frio, from a cold Évora this morning at 4 degrees. Great grub, apparently, behind this door in Évora. Let me find out what Michael is saying about these wonderful pictures that have been sent in. I'm having to scroll so deep into the stack to find out who's been sending what and what they've been saying. Thank you, everybody. Just takes a bit longer to find these things now. So 913-590-303 is the number to send these into. Enter this door for some of the most incredible food in Portugal. So maybe do a screenshot of that. We need the name of the establishment, I think, as well. And it looks like an AL as well, possibly, where you can stay there at number 18. 18 in Evra there. And the Christmas tree was disappointing in Evra, apparently. Oh, that's a poor review for lighting up Christmas. But there it was down the street there in Evra. Oh, no, that's just a street decoration. Can't actually see the tree unless it's so small, and that's why it was disappointing. And then finally, this marvelous, no, price of fish, not that one. I've got this one, not the fish display from Jean, but we'll come back to Jean's fish later on. There is a sundial and Michael's quartz watch next to it. What he's saying about this is that the sundial was installed in 1810. Really high-tech stuff. You know how we talk about the blockchain and non-fungible, what is it? What's the T stand for? Or EFTs and NFTs and the blockchain. How we talk about that stuff now. People were talking about sundials, weren't they, like that once upon a time? Oh, it'll never work, scratching on stones to tell the time. Installed in 1810, it shows 12:45 plus or minus. The same as my quartz watch from 200 years later. How about that? Thank you so much, Michael, for your lovely pictures from Evra over the last couple of days. Jenny's gone. She's had enough already, I think. She'll be back, though. Don't worry. And more comments then coming in. Sarah's here. Thank you for your company last night. Bon dia, Gumpers. I love Jenny B. I always get so much done while I watch because she inspires me. How about that? We need that as a video. You're blowing a kiss to the audience. Wouldn't that be a great gift to have a lovely gift for the internet? Jenny B just going mwah, like that, inspiring everyone. Owen's here as well. We're here. Owen's singing as we go into the 9 o'clock proper. It is the first sort of news and weather hour, but the lines are being blurred this morning. It's already feel good. Bom dia todos. Terminamos meus 15 minutos. What's that? You finished your 15 minutes. Mais tenho de fazer mais memorize. So what's that? I'm doing more with memorize there by the sound of it. Well done, Owen. Bom dia alegria from Francis de Toros. Feliz aniversario or aniversario there. Feel good. Yes, it is. Well, that's the reason we are in especially good mood this morning, because it's a year since we started doing this, eh, Jenny?
Yes, it's crazy.
It is, isn't it? Hola, bon dia, alegria, Gumpers. In San Martino de Porto, Cindy, we will meet soon. You let me know when you feel ready for that. I think you've had a long journey, haven't you? And perhaps you're just getting your pep back in your step. But this morning's show will do that for you, I'm sure. Francis, 0 minutos, study daycare today, but we'll get to it soon. Start with, if you want to, Francis, Portuguese nursery rhymes with the kids on YouTube. Works well for adults too. And that's a good daddy daycare tick, because when mum comes in and says, are you letting them watch YouTube again? No, we are learning Portuguese. Works for me every time. But I don't know what happened since I fell asleep and it went on to other YouTube videos that the kids are now watching. Bon dia, that's harder to explain. I'm having my genius power snooze right now, and you've disturbed it. Bon dia, espero que vocês está bem, hoping that we're well. Lonnie McLaughlin, you were amazing last night alongside Jay and Diane and Earl on our Ask Our Expats hosted Newly Arriveds here in Portugal. Lovely show, lovely webinar last night with you guys. Thank you for being so open about your experiences here in Portugal. Really good value for the people watching. Bada bench, Feel Good Friday from Owen as well. Cheers, Owen. Thank you very much for that. Tomorrow in Portuguese history to come from Prof. Eusebio. Let's see who's here and say good morning. Really important, especially important on a Feel Good Friday. To feel the power of our community this morning. Mark was on the call last night as well. Bon dia alegria to you, Mark. And Nuno, apologies, Nuno. Let's speak later on today. Good morning. Stay safe, everybody says Nuno. And Mark Cockerton. Mark, I think, joins us when Jenny's here. Bon dia, Carl. And Jennykins. Is that what he calls you? Jennykins. Okay. Hola, Jenny. When I see you, I miss my dreads. Says Francis. Hey, Francis, try really confusing your children by speaking Portuguese to them. Should be a good time. Yes, do it. Video that for us. Bon dia from Deborah Davis. Portuguese lessons going much better now. There you go. Had 4 hours of lessons yesterday. Whoa! At the language school. So 15 minutes done. Wow, yes, you knocked us all into a cocked hat there. I then asked a garage salesman if I could use the loo, all in Portuguese. So what would that be? I would like to use. So if you say queria, what is that? Casa de baño. That's I would like a toilet rather than may I use the toilet. Deborah, please put that phrase into the chat because that's going to be a useful one for everybody. Natalie Gray. Hello, Natalie. Interesting morning yesterday, wasn't it? Bon dia, todos. Hi, I think I was invisible at the webinar. We'll figure it out. I saw you, but maybe practice makes perfect, and we'll see you and Taxi on there in due time. Not quite so Feel Good Friday. Now we're back in the UK. Oh, come on, Gary. It can't ever be about the geography when it comes to it. Yes, we're going to make you feel good. Well, you're going to make you feel good with our help there. But we'll be back in the new year. It was great to see you, mate. Deborah Davis at James Holly. That slug makes me smile every time I see it. That's not the first time he's heard that expression, I'm sure. Rebel Mama, hola peeps. This morning from Rebel Mama Khadija. So good to see you the other night as well, Khadija, and your posse. I'm 8 billion and 1 in the chess rankings. Yeah, me too. Children beat me at chess, Francis. It's embarrassing. Go Slugs from James and Bon Dia A-Team, Jenny B and Carl from Michelle. Michelle, I know loves to see you on the screen as well, Jenny. Bon Dia, Jenny B and Carl as well. Cheers, Jim. That slug pic kind of looks like it's shouting at us. Yeah, come on, you gumpers. Good morning from a cold morning in Lisbon. Okay, so here's your weather. 6 degrees in Lisbon and Porto, 41 degrees Fahrenheit, light clouds of 55, a high of 55 today. It's winter in Porto. Morning, Gumpers. Coach Turner. Grey but mild here in West Wales this morning, exploring 400 years of family history today and putting in at least 10,000 steps. Have a great one. We've got the pictures to prove it. Where are your lovely pictures of Wales this morning? Here's one. When I loaded them up, look at that. You've got a wonky horizon. The sea rolls down to the right in Wales there, where Ian is. Isn't that beautiful? He said yesterday, we haven't got the weather, but we've got the views. And they have in lovely Welsh Wales there. Look at that beach. Isn't that beautiful? But the air is nice and fresh there. So have a great time, Ian, exploring your 400 years of family history. That's beautiful. And a few more comments before we have a look at to glean the news and look back over the week here, because it's been an amazing week. Jenny B, you're a force of nature, says Prof. Eusebio. And that restaurant there up in Evra was the Taverna Tipica Quarta-feira, not an AO, not an alojamento. The yellow sign possibly just the telling you that it's a restaurant there. My bad. On that, Michael Whitby, but that's the door you are looking out for for Taverna Tipica Quarta-feira. Well, okay, so is that what is that then? The Wednesday Cafe? Is that what that means? I wonder. Rugby Colin here as well this morning. Some kids visiting a site with a sundial. One asked what it was. After some explanation, one said, wow, what will they think of next? I mean, it's a beautiful, clear blue sky, chilly day here in Ericeira. Thank you for that weather report. And nice one. I'll use that tip, Carl. Suggestions welcome. I know. Yes, Dino Lingo. That's the one. That's the one I really like to fall asleep to as well. On my way back to the Alto Minho in a bit, missed my mountains, but the ocean was lovely to visit. Yeah, what were your highlights of the Silver Coast? I know in some ways you didn't have the best of times, and I was sorry to hear that. Khadija, but do let us know more about your trip to the Silver Coast. Bon dia alegria, you got this, from Anna, who sent in a beautiful photograph as well this morning. Let me do that while you're prompting me there, Anna. So it's a Christmas greetings. So it's lighting up Christmas. And from down there in the Algarve, and me taking photos of this is great because this is actually not just the photo of the Christmas lights. It is the photo of the photographer taking the photo of the Christmas lights. Very thoughtful, very excellent. And let me pop it on the screen for you now. Anna, thank you so much for this. Please get the Christmas photos in, everybody. Here it is in VRSA down there in the south. Oh, I need to take your comment off so we can actually see you there. Look at that. Portugal is lighting up. What's it like over your way with Christmas lights, Jenny?
None.
Why? Well, I don't mean your house. I mean down the street in the municipality.
No.
Nothing.
No, our villages are so small. I don't know how it is in Avayadra. Maybe Gabo is here and can tell us that.
Yeah.
I'll find out later. But no, here, unless I put on some nice candles.
Yeah, we could have a sort of German Portuguese hybrid because Christmas is special in Germany as well, isn't it? and maybe a Principio. You could set up a Principio on a roundabout near you. That seems like the right thing to do to me. Jay's here, the aforementioned Jay and Diane. You're happy to set up a Principio on a local roundabout?
Yeah, I was planning on that actually the whole year, so you kind of killed my surprise now, but yeah.
And everybody will know who did it as well, won't they? Natalie Gray, cold morning, 4 degrees. Minus 4 degrees, or is that a little hyphen to tell us it is 4 degrees? Remind us, Natalie, where are you? Today in Mr. Holly's neighborhood from La Quinta. Oh, this is the children's book that he's reading for his Portuguese learning. A mama Coelho tem muitos filhotes. Eles comem erva, cenouras, and alface. So Mama Rabbit is enjoying her herbs, her grass, her carrots, and her lettuce. And Mummy Rabbit has many puppies. They eat grass, carrots, and lettuce. There you go. Sorry, I didn't get to that. I translated it before I got to your last sentence, but that's excellent. Well done, James. Keep it up. And I would love a picture of you reading your children's Portuguese book down the cafe. That'd be so good. Okay, while enjoying a coffee. Maybe get one of your Portuguese BFFs to take that. Good morning, Jenni B and Carl. Are we all in the holiday spirit? I hope so. Well, you can answer that for yourself, Jenni. You feeling it?
I'm always in holiday spirit. I'm on permanent holiday.
Well, that's true. But does it get extra heightened when it becomes festive as well? Does it have bells and baubles and tinsel on it too? No, you can't. You've maxed out already for the rest of the year.
I'm always on max. You know that.
Yeah, I do. Natalie, many puppies. Yeah, I thought that. I mean, what do we call baby rabbits apart from baby rabbits? Leverets.
I was wondering, but as a German, I didn't want to say anything.
You know what? Funnily enough, I think baby rabbits are called kittens. We will find out from our learned community here. And Laura P. Hi, Jenni. It's nice to see such a smiling face. We did a calendar as well. The many gestures and faces of Jenni B. Rest of it. There's 365 of those, not just 12. So that was a literal translation. I think baby bunnies are referred to as pups. I think it's kittens. Yeah, there you go. Prof would know. Do you know that baby rabbits are called kittens? There we go. We've sorted that out. Another of mice and men moment there. Now I'm curious. I'll look it up. They're called kittens, but great work on studying. Yes, indeed. I miss Weihnachtsmarkt mit Maronen und Glühwein. But at least I can get roasted chestnuts. What's he talking about? I know what Glühwein is, but what is his Weihnacht? Oh, that's Christmas, isn't it? Frohe Weihnachten. It's
Christmas. The Christmas markets, the very famous German Christmas markets. And unfortunately, most of them are not going to happen this year.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Yes, I actually would like to steer away from some of the health policies of your home country, worrying as they are, Jenni. But anyway, let's not get into that right now. Let's not bring a downer on the proceedings. But Maronen, are they the little almond-flavored biscotti?
No, they are actually chestnuts.
Oh, they are chestnuts, the Maronen. Oh, of course, yeah. I see that now. I'm in lovely Tamar, says Natalie Gray. It's very cold this morning. Another weather report. Carpe diem is here. Bon dia todos. Very good, very good. Kittens. Bunnies, that's the word, isn't it? And St. Catherine is here, who I'm sure is happy to see you here as well. Bon dia, minha amiga. That's especially for you, isn't it? And I'm excited about days getting longer and January 2nd, so we can get on with it. Yes, well said. We are going into the darkest times now, and that's why it's really important, I think, for us to light up Christmas and make sure we're not letting some of the other forces in the world at the moment overwhelm us. Light up Christmas, light of the world. Light, positive. We got this. I still haven't had these renowned roasted chestnuts, says Natalie Gray. I thought they would be around, but I haven't seen any. Okay, well, Jerry lives over your way, and I think it's Jerry's responsibility, if there are no other roasted chestnuts around, for it to fall to Jerry to roast a few chestnuts on his barbecue for you. Okay, Feel Good Friday. We're nearly at that 9 o'clock moment where we will roll the traditional music. Not the traditional Christmas music, but we'll have our theme tune and Feel Good Friday. But Jenni, this week, and the folks in the chat will help us with this. On Monday, we had a little hack from our wonderful friend Gilda at EI. Frozen bacalhau and poach it in milk. That's the Christmas hack for the bacalhau. Are you not a fan?
No.
Okay, well, that hack's wasted on you then. What are you going to be eating this Christmas?
Don't know yet. It's still like 2 weeks ahead. Why'd you ask me now? I don't know.
Grumpy. I Tuesday.
I only know what I'm going to eat today.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. All right. Living in the moment has its that doesn't necessarily fit in so well with Christmas dinner scheduling, does it? Okay, I got you. Tuesday, we saw the most remarkable, the incredible talent of Francis. What else did we do on Tuesday, folks? I've got to do our currency report. This is the serious grown-up bit in the first 30 minutes, and I need to do our currency report before we go to 9. And I did have that written down on a piece of paper in quite a grown-up way. Low body sugar, Jenny. Is that what you're having for Christmas? Perhaps.
No body sugar. No, my body is full on sugar.
Of the natural variety. Wednesday, we helped you choose the football team. With Michael Heron, ask anything about Portugal, because the focus was on choosing your football team. Have you got a football team, Jenny B, here in Portugal?
Yeah, me and my dogs. We're the coolest team. I follow them.
She's such a rebel. I'm not getting any conventional answers, but I should have known.
Exactly.
What did we do on Thursday, guys? Moved to Portugal Thursday. The incredible Cindy Vine, fellow off-gridder, Jenny B. Cindy's amazing. She, of course, my favorite story about moving to Portugal. The kids said to her, "Look, Mum, we've figured out." This is a paraphrase because I tell this story differently every time in my paraphrasing. But I think basically what happened was her kids said, "Look, we're resigned to looking after you in your old age, so we're figuring out how you can move in with us." And very quickly, thinking on her feet, said, "Oh, there's no need for that. I've bought a farm in Portugal that I'm moving to." And she hadn't. But because she said that, she then went and bought a farm later that afternoon, or certainly started looking for one. And now she lives on that farm in Portugal. And we spoke to her yesterday, and she's off grid. She's doing the old worm toilet, not a toilet for worms or slugs for that matter, a toilet where the worms digest all the goodies. And produce lovely human manure at the end of it, I suspect. And she's got. She was telling us about her €1,500 solar panels, which sound great to me. She needed a bit of help. I think Matty's going to help out with that. So an absolute inspiration. And of course, here we are. We're right bang up to date on Friday. I'm going to do the currency report now because it's carefully constructed for us. And so this is perhaps the last grown-up moment on Feel Good Friday right now as we work our way towards the weekend in the much-loved company of Jenny B, because we're going to be in full-on celebration mode from 9 o'clock. Right, come on, Microsoft Outlook, trying to be helpful as ever and failing. Where are we? Oh, yes, currency update then, folks. Let me read this to you because this is important, isn't it? If you take care of these grown-up things, then you've got more time to play, arguably, as I was explaining to Jenny B earlier on. In my experiments in being grown-up and normal are going fairly well. So, quiet week on data releases last week. Instead, the main drivers were comments from central banks and news updates on COVID-19, as you might expect, affecting the money markets. There is still talk that the Bank of England will push back interest rates into the new year, and the new variant continues to dominate across the board. That variant that has very mild effects, if any, and very few symptoms. Honestly, the amount of power it's got. What was positive for the pound is that the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, has said Britain is on track for growth to jump by 5.7% in 2021, with a further 4.5% in 2022. That performance would see the country outpace its G7 rivals in 21 and 22, respectively. Meanwhile, annual inflation, this is with regard to the GBP euro exchange. Meanwhile, annual inflation for the countries using the euro, including Germany, France, Italy, and Spain, soared to 4.9% in November, driven by higher energy prices, according to Eurostat. The reading marks the highest rate since 1997. Quite amazing, isn't it, this? That whilst there's so much doubt around health and people's real lives, the money markets seem to be going up. When the European Union started collecting data ahead of the euro's launch, that was 1997. However, the virus will be the one to watch for any major market movements. Next week, we'll see Olaf Scholz be sworn in as Germany's chancellor. After the High Court ruled that last year's lockdowns were constitutional, another lockdown could come fast in Germany. Euro US dollar traded to a fresh weekly high as unemployment in Germany narrows to, I think that's 34,000 in November, and it remains to be seen if data will influence the European Central Bank as the euro area inflation widens for the 5th consecutive month. So euro USD may stage a larger recovery ahead of the ECB rate decision on the 16th of this month, as the ECB acknowledges that inflation will take longer to decline than previously expected if you're in the euro US dollar market. Meanwhile, in the US, Chairman Powell of the Federal Open Market Committee, the FOMC, warned that inflation is running above their 2% goal. I think it's a problem in the States, isn't it, inflation? He also went on to suggest that Omicron variant will do little to detail the Fed from carrying out its exit strategy, as he pledged to use their tools to make sure that higher inflation does not become too hard to combat. So support for the US dollar may come from the job sector and unemployment figures. So weird, isn't it? Strength for a currency whilst people are going out of work. Recent data shows that the job market continues to recover at a robust pace, and the Fed has already decided to focus on inflation. A better than expected report may provide additional support. Today's focus will be on non-farm payrolls. Numbers out later today. I don't know what they are. And it sounds like it could be something to eat. Euro Canadian dollar, the pair has gone one-way trade of late with a combination of weak euro and the relatively strong loonie. Is that what the Canadian dollar's called? Sending the pair tumbling ever lower. The pair are back at lows last seen in early 2017. The Bank of Canada has signaled that rate hikes, and this is for you Canadians who often complain or remark, what about us? This is it, the Euro Canadian dollar news. So that rate hikes may be coming in early 2022, sooner than previously thought, driven by stronger and more persistent inflation pressures. Bank of Canada won't reveal their next decision until 8th of December. However, the Canadian dollar remains strong against a weaker euro, so perhaps the time to buy is now, not financial advice, as the European Central Bank is behind other major central banks looking to raise rates immediately. However, similar to the US and UK, this new COVID-19 variant is pushing back interest hike expectations. Recent gains for the loonie. I didn't know that the Canadian dollar was called the loonie. Did you, Jenny? No. They have been reversed, and we have seen nearly a 2.5% decline. Rates for buying euros are still very attractive for you guys then. However, a lot will change over the coming weeks and months as we head deeper into winter. If you want some certainty, say Spartan FX, it may be wise to look at your requirements sooner rather than later. If you do not have your total funds available, you can purchase the currency you need on a forward contract where you can buy now and pay later, which could, if you want to take advantage of those loonie and dollar highs, that could be the thing to do. We will monitor the rate for you and help you take advantage of rate spikes or fix the rate and set your budget in advance of any payments or transfers. Cheers, Sarah. Excellent work from Spartan FX there. As we hit 9 o'clock and play our theme tune and come back proper to celebrate 1 year, folks, of Feel Good Friday. See you after this. Where's the music? What? I can't believe it. It took me ages. Oh, there it is.
It's Feelgood Friday. It's Feelgood Friday. It's Friday. Feeling good on a Friday with Cal Munson and Jenni B. It's Feelgood Friday.
Oh, there we go. It is indeed Feel Good Friday, and your homework is on the screen. Take it away, Jenni B. What have you got planned for us this morning?
It's gonna be feel good vibes as usual. What do you think?
No question.
Oh, I really thought. I mean, it was such a really, really nice time. I think we've all had here together, and we have such wonderful people joining us every time, and they really, the audience is who makes the show at the end of the day. Carl, we can chat away all the time, but what would be the show without our Fox? So
Yeah.
I thought, because we spoke a lot about how to keep positive in these challenging times, and how to try to focus on the good things that are still around us. So I thought we practice a little bit of gratitude and a little bit of appreciation. Oop! And so I have noted down a few questions. I've already sent you a picture earlier, but I'm not sure if you can use it.
Where'd you send that to Messenger?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will find that for you. I can't do it immediately, but I'm going there right now if you continue.
No problem. I'll just keep on chatting along.
Yeah, you do that.
I thought it would be really nice to share some of these things with each other, the milestones of our year that we've now already spent together, which is crazy how time flies.
Yes.
And so often we look on the things, they were not so good, or we haven't really got done, or they didn't work out really nice. And I want to do it the whole other way around today. I'd like to really focus on the things that were good, to focus on the things that we appreciate, that we've learned, that we've encountered throughout the year, throughout the show, maybe, because there were lots of crazy encounters we would have all not had if not in the global pandemic.
Yeah. Yogurt pots as well. It was amazing. It has been an amazing year, and let me just say thank you so much for being here in the way that you have been, and you people love you, it's clear to see why, because you are a sunbeam in on our screens on the times you arrive here. And there's something else as well I want to add to this, because we had a slightly eggy atmosphere on our show yesterday. And thank you to those of you who sent me messages commending me on how I handled that. I was struggling, I'll be honest with you. And I'm also fascinated by it, because I don't like to shy away from it. I like to go in there and see what I can do about it, because I don't want to be blocking people as a first move. I want to encourage people to figure it out and work it out. And people have to be given a little bit of space to be silly sometimes. When none of us is perfect, and so if that's the case, we'll accept that. But we'll also, like I said yesterday, stick around and clear up the mess. What I was thinking was, yesterday we were talking about things, and it got very finger pointy toward, from one person to another about one opinion or another. And this is often what goes on in politics. Coming back to you and Feel Good Friday, Jenny, what I love about what you do is you get people to own things and talk about what's actually going on for them. And it's a very different world when we stop pointing outwards about what's wrong with other people. We're going to keep doing that, aren't we? It's in human nature in many ways to have opinions about everything. And we know what opinions are. They're like X, everyone's got one and they stink. And we're going to do that. We are opinion making machines. That's how our minds work. But what you've brought to the show, and what I think is so important, what I'd like to think we've brought in many ways with Good Morning Portugal generally, is an ownership of things as well. To own it, to say what's going on for you. And when you've got a criticism of other people, to frame that as, my problem with that is this, and I am the common link here. I keep getting triggered by this, that, or the other. And you might rightly be. There are some awful things going on in the world. There's no question about that either. But the real action, the real where we're going to change, I think, as a society, as human beings, is where we engage with that on our own personal level and transform ourselves, rather than forever just criticizing the outside world. That's not working for us, is it? That political process of just constantly criticizing what's out there is maybe good for letting off steam and venting and so on, but it doesn't seem to be making anything any better anytime soon. And it's this personal ownership and transformation, which you bring, Jenni B, to this context and this place that I really appreciate about you.
Thank you. That is really so sweet. I thank you, Carl. It's my pleasure. I mean, I really so enjoy these shows here with you, even though I was so excited before the first time last year. And it's beautiful what you say there, because of course it is kind of like a human trait to look in the outside, like you were saying. And I don't know if you have the same saying in England, but in Germany we say if you point with one finger, there's three pointing back at you.
So true. So true. And there's a thumb pointing upwards, which might be the good you could look for.
Exactly. And you know, and also what people don't understand, what you were just saying with it might be a release. Actually, it's not. You just keep on feeding this energy loop, because it's actually draining, isn't it? It's draining to boost out so much energy, to wreck your head about things you're not going to change anyway. Because like you said, the change is starting here. That's why one of the things we've learned together throughout this year is peace begins with me. And that's it. Then, I mean, once you got this, once you understand the mechanics behind your own behavior and where actually these feeding games are happening, you'll be laughing about yourself and thinking, oh my God, how much energy have I wasted in this? And complaining about others and the weather and politics is really one of the big ones.
Yeah, it's so true. And I was going to add something there, but I've forgotten what it is now. And that so often happens when we're when we're talking. I think you bring me into the moment, and I forget what I was thinking about only a few minutes ago. Yeah, so you know, I do really appreciate you being here and what you've done. I know what it is now. It's come back to me. The other thing that I really appreciate about you is your commitment and persistence about this, because that thing you've just described, peace begins with me. Some of the heavyweight political people are like, oh, that's spiritual bypassing, or that's just being a hippie and sticking your head in the sand. Well, actually, I don't. I think you're one of the people that's being a warrior about this because you're committed to it. Now, it might be true sometimes that us hippie types are appalled with the world, and we do turn inwards rather than super gluing our face to some tarmac or whatever it is you're supposed to do if you're a real eco warrior. But actually, I think the work on yourself is arguably harder than going out and taking an axe to a wind turbine or whatever it is people do. You know, it's quite easy to virtue signal, isn't it, and do gesture politics. And it's very emotional and it's very powerful in some way to make a gesture of that kind and to be an activist. And I'm not knocking those people. You know, I was making light of it and hoping to bring some humor into it. People have got to do what they got to do, and you know, I'm not necessarily criticizing anybody for that. But actually, as you well know, and we know from people who have really taken themselves on, that is actually harder than I think, or as hard as any kind of activism you would care to mention. So yes, there is spiritual bypassing in the spiritual world. There are people making platitudes and positive thinking and being Pollyannas, but when they really get into it and they take themselves on and they look at their own healing and they're willing to, instead of chucking out opinions and criticisms, they're willing to own it and go inside, that can be really hard work. And I think you would join me in taking our hat off to that silent army of warriors who we know are doing that, because these times have caused that for a lot of people, haven't they? And they're doing it probably as we speak in a really quiet way, which is not as obvious as activism.
It's beautiful that you say that, Carl, because that was probably something I was faced with and invited from my life throughout this year as well. And it was really funny to also notice what was going on in my physical system whilst you were talking about this warrior and the rebellion, which I clearly was, I must say now here. Because if it's one thing I've learned, particularly in this year, is that it's no point in fighting. Even in this activism, that's still fighting. And of course, we need these people. And oh my God, everything has its place and everybody follows his own heart desires, and whatever you feel you need to do, just do it, as long as it doesn't harm people or beings. But at the end of the day, I found for me that it is really from making peace also with this warrior, and give this warrior love and let it chill out finally, because it can be so easy.
Yeah.
You know, and I think this coming back to simplicity is something that our mind is really, really, really resistant towards, because we've all learned so well, you need a fight, it's needed, it's got to be hard, no pain, no gain, the whole lot. But if we are really, 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 really honest to ourselves, then it's exactly what you say. Then there might be this big wall of things you have not looked at before, because you've been so busy in the outside, and it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
But only from there, only if you manage to bring this warrior and transform it into a guardian or a guide, only
Yes.
then I believe we are really able to change or impact or show what it needs to happen in wherever outside, because this is what we are reflecting. And I think
Yeah.
that's the only way you can really make a difference, if you are the difference.
Yes, absolutely, well said. And you know, it's interesting, isn't it, with the warrior thing? Because I know you've been through your own name change with the Rainbow Warriors, and I understand that, you know, the whole what people feel about the word warrior and war. But I have to say, there's a difference between a sort of, you know, a noble warrior and how that
Mhm.
energy can be used, and a psychopath. And there's plenty of examples of psychopathy around, aren't there? No question about that. But my favorite warriors, as I've seen exemplified and beautifully told as stories, are so inspirational to me. Certainly as a man, if I think about in 300, Gerard Butler. I mean, he's a psycho in parts of that, no question. But there is a scene where he is with the Queen, and you see him in a tender moment when he's at, you know, he, as well as slaying, you know, thousands of Athenians in other parts of that gory movie. There's this beautiful tender scene where he's questioning himself with his queen the night before the battle, and that's she. You know, it may well be. I'm not going to do a spoiler, but it may well be the last time they see each other, and it's so tender and beautiful. And he is a Spartan warrior, Sparta, who. And then there's Crouching Tiger, isn't there? That lovely movie where you have the most incredible Chinese warrior. And he too has these incredible moments of introspection and tenderness. And that's the kind of warrior, isn't it? The one who can do the duty and fight what needs fighting, but also has the capacity to go within as well. Amazing. And that's you, that is. Oh, look, some dogs are here. Your lovely creatures, which I think is a cue for the lovely images you sent me, right?
That's the other images. They were meant for the first half an hour, but there's somewhere a yellow image that's really sticking out.
I'm gonna come back to them. Oh, okay. Hold on a minute. So
Yeah, my
I've got
thoughts
a
are there too.
number of things from you. Oh,
Yeah,
is this?
three things.
Oh,
The three
on
things.
Google Drive. Oh, the three things. There we go. I'm
The
going to
three
open that.
things.
Do
The
we
three
need do we need that now, Jenny, on the screen?
I'm
I
not
think we don't.
sure.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's
Well,
up to you.
well, let me, if I can find it, we'll put it on the screen. How about, how about if we do it that way? Yes, I can. I can do that, and I can do it absolutely right now. So there you go. And I'm aware lots of contributions in the chat. We will come back to you, and we've got Portuguese history to cover as well. So stay tuned for all of that as we celebrate our first year of Feel Good Friday. So, Jenny, what is this pineapple about with sunglasses on? Is that what you want us to do?
That's me as a fruit.
Ah, of course. Yes, I should have known. Of course it is. No, I look at it.
Wait, do I need sunnies to show me?
No, I completely get that now. So is this part of the homework? Portray yourself as a tropical fruit.
You could do that. I mean, that's a really nice question. We can shoot this out here now as well. Like, what would you be if you'd be a tropical fruit? I'm this pineapple, but in my alter ego, I'm obviously a passion fruit. But
I'm a mango, I think.
you're a mango.
Yes, occasionally firm to the touch, but once you get to know me and leave me hanging around the kitchen for a while, I'm soft and sweet.
So these things, I mean, you can do it as homework, but that was the things I thought we can talk about. I'd like to tell you some of these things because that was really, part of that journey we went together. And I think for me, I wanted to say about a few things about that. How grateful and blessed I feel and am to be here with you and all the wonderful people. And but I thought I also invite our audience to share that with us. As we've said earlier, it's about practicing to be positive as well. And so often we forget all the things we do, even if it's just on a daily basis. You know, we also programmed on performance, and what that is really so much defined from the outside again. But hand on your heart, even on a day where you think, oh my God, I haven't done anything today, you probably still have brought the rubbish out, looked after children, pets, whatever, swept the floor, did some ironing, did some washing, whatever. Still so many things. So make sure you're good to yourself and also count them.
Oh.
Now, on a bigger scale, if we think about the full year, there's also so often things that we think, I really wanted to have done this year, but I haven't, and la 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 la. So this show with our birthday and the wonderful Feel Good Fridays we have spent together, I'd like to ask also our audience, what are the things they appreciate about us, about whatever in life, the things they've learned in our show, maybe eventually together from us, the encounters that have happened, and anything they'd like to tell us. Really, now it's the time.
All right, and Gary's just come in on the phone, and we're grateful to him, aren't we? Garvo, did you just mean to call me? Are you there? I think it might have been a misdial, but actually that's not a bad idea, Garvo, because if it wasn't for him, there's my first appreciation. If it wasn't for Garvo, Gary the Four Costin, that famous Al Viagra resident, you wouldn't be here on the show with me. So Gary, and not just that, Gary, you're an amazing part of this community. Shout out to you for not only delivering Jenni B to us, but so many other gifts to this community and your early support of what we did in our sort of crowdfunder formation at the beginning. So Garvo, love you, man, and thank you so much. And I will do this for others I see as well. We can appreciate, because it's easier for me probably to appreciate people who tune in regularly, and I will do my best to do that. And do that for each other, if you will. Okay, this is a very different atmosphere to yesterday. It's almost the opposite, or the transcendent option coming out after yesterday's interesting show. You know, I wouldn't change anything about it, but it's interesting to note today what's possible. And I urge you to each other to say, you know, what you appreciate about people in this community. Let's say it. Let's do it. What may be something you've learned from them. Prof. Eusebio, we've learned so much from Prof. Eusebio, to give you an example now. So let's keep this active for the rest of the show. It's not enough time to actually, if we were to fully appreciate each other and say what we learned from each other and what we've encountered and what we'd like to tell each other, 40 minutes wouldn't do it justice. But let's see what we can do in that time. So Prof. Eusebio, I appreciate you, not least for these wonderful pieces of history that you send us every day. 1980, Francisco de Sá Cañero dies in mysterious plane crash. Sá Cañero, 109th Prime Minister, founder of PSD. There have been several public inquiries into his death. In 2012, Fernando Farinha Simoes published an 18-page confession on the internet describing his alleged involvement in what he described as a CIA operation. Oh my goodness. So that's tomorrow in Portuguese history. That the whole controversy surrounding Sá Cañero, amazing. So I really appreciate you, Prof. Eusebio, and certainly for sending in incredible graphics like that. And I think what we'll do is we'll carry that forward to next week, because that is the Belém Monument, the travellers who went out to sea from Portugal, who we can appreciate as well because of their incredible contribution to Portuguese history and culture. And we will dive deeper into that next week. Thank you for the background on that as well, Prof. And I do want to talk to you on the show at some point. You're an amazing part of this community. Back to you, Jenny. I know you've got lots more to say on this.
Oh, good. I mean, this is also so beautiful, exactly what you were saying. This is also the chance where these three things, I mean, or the things for each one, three things you can use in your all day, every day towards anybody. And the beautiful thing about this is, I mean, you know the saying, love and luck is one of the things when you share, they just get more. And
yeah.
Sometimes, you know, we might have this resistance or fear of rejection or not being loved back or all these things, which are also very natural human traits. But at the end, it's really, you cannot be brave without being vulnerable. So, and we all of us like to hear nice words, don't we? We all like a compliment, even though sometimes it's hard to actually take it on. So there's no harm in giving out compliments. And this is what I'd like to ask you for, particularly for this Christmas holiday season, where it sometimes can get a bit tensed, not just in times of a global pandemic, but generally people feeling often, unfortunately, really stressed in this time, what is actually supposed to be the calmest and harmonious of the year. So remind yourselves, people, if you have any doubts, you know, if you're in a bit of a mood, if something's triggering you, one thing that can really, really, really get you back to the here and now really quickly is if you ask yourself, what are you most grateful for? And
Beautiful.
you can also do this, for example, at the Christmas dinner table together with the family. Share things that you appreciate on each other, that you learn from each other, that you really something that you like to tell the other person.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do that, folks. And we're not again, you know, it's all very well talking about things, but doing it is where the juice is. Okay, and that's our focus today. Which is fantastic. Yeah, go on.
Before we go to the comments, which I really look forward to hear, just before this in our falls off again, I really, really, really also would like to appreciate, or I'd like to tell you what I appreciate about you, not just that you also give me the feel good Friday vibes on a Friday morning, but it's really, I don't think I could have asked for any smoother person to do such kind of show with. And I love how we flow with each other. I love how spontaneous you are. I love how much dedication you have to this show and this community and connecting all these people and bringing all this together and being such a pillar really for so many people here in Portugal and all over the world by now. And I really, really, really appreciate that about you, Carl. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Obrigadíssimo, obrigadinho. Thank you very much. That's lovely to hear, really is. And you know, there is discomfort, isn't there, in receiving these things? But I'm soaking that up. I'm soaking that up in my mango-y way. I'm turning myself into a mango lassie and drinking.
I love mango lassie.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Who wouldn't love a mango lassie? Right? Well, thank you very much. And yeah, and you know, right back at you. Let me detail it a bit more. Your commitment, it's actually quite a mirror, because what's happened, I think, on our journey here is that we've embraced mystery and the unknown, and that's, I really appreciate that about you, is how you've been a trooper in that. Because I know there's a part of you that's very well organized, isn't there? And would perhaps like a structure. You might not know this about Jenny, You might, the off-grid sort of hippie lifestyle stereotype that you might associate with Jenni. You might think she would eschew and avoid structure and organization and those sorts of things. Well, actually, my experience of you is you're actually very well organized. You're the person who asks me most in advance for the show scheduling, so that you can share it with your community. And I think it's not in a bad way. I'm not knocking that. I think it's really good. I think it's a beautiful way of sharing what you do, and a conscientiousness that you have that's really nice. What was it I was going to say about that? And I'm purposefully, what I would normally do here is just try and just figure something out to say, to fill in the silence, because this is actually another one of the things I appreciate about you, is that I know what it is now. I know what I meant to say, and this is a bonus, because the cardinal sins of radio, which is where I've come from to do this, are dead air. And the clock. There are two things you have to fight as a radio presenter. One is silence, which is bizarre, isn't it? And one is the clock. And we've broken the rules with both of these quite a lot, I think. But the dead air is the one I struggle with habitually. And as I was trying to think what it is I appreciate about you, I was thinking I need to fill the space while I'm thinking. And I'm skilled in that, as you may have noticed. That's what radio presenters do. They know how to keep going whilst they're thinking of the next bit. And it's lovely that you've created an atmosphere here where it's okay to be silent. And we have been, haven't we, in this time, in this last year? When there's been nothing to say, or you and I have been crying, we can't speak. It was impossible. The clock's gone out the window. We don't care about that. And the dead air thing went as well, because we've just we've chosen to observe something more important than being good presenters. Like, okay, that's a silent moment. So I appreciate that about you. And what was the other thing to do with your conscientiousness? Oh yeah, how that is you to be conscientious and to be well planned in advance of these shows. And as spontaneous as they seem, you've always been really disciplined about having something there as a structure for the show. And as time has gone on, we've sometimes never even spoken about the thing that you very thoughtfully had as the basis. So I appreciate that about you as well, that for some people that's absolutely nightmarish, and there was no way they would be able to deviate from the plan, because they get their confidence and strength from the plan, and that's fine. But it's amazing how you have, when we started, it's really important to us and to you, wasn't it, to have a structure. And you've managed to go completely off piste at times and roll with this in what is a very, this is a public speaking, being in front of an audience is not the easiest of things for people to do, especially if they're not used to it, if they don't have experience in it. So hats off to you for being able to not only do that, to break away from your habit possibly of being well organized and conscientious, go freestyle, and then not only go freestyle, but be vulnerable as well. And my mind goes back to that time when you were talking about your dad and your stepdad and the whole. This is a big deal for people, isn't it? The parenting thing, and that. Oh my goodness, do you remember that episode? And we were in pieces, weren't we? We were in bits on screen, and that is not an easy thing to do, and you could have not done it, but you chose to go there. And I take my pineapple top off you. I take my sunglasses off to you as well with that. You are a trooper, you are a warrior, and you don't just talk about it, you bare your soul, and you've done that here. And that's an example to people that it's safe to do it, because we won't belittle it, we will honor it, and we'll respect it. And thank you for leading the way on that. It's great that someone does it, and it's great that it's you that did do it.
Thank you so much, Carl. Oh, that's really sweet. And this is also something I really appreciate about you. There does not seem to be any taboo. We can just talk about anything and everything, and we all go through all the emotions and the whole lot, and everything has its place, and everything is okay to be. And I think this is also something that you that you give the audience just the space to be, and that it's just fine. There's no judging about it. It's just, and I think particularly in times where there have been so little social contact possibilities, or maybe less than usual, I think you have been, like I said, really such a pillar for people, like the how would you say that, like the glue that holds everything together.
Yes. Yep. Well, and you've been the laxative that's come along. So while I've held it all together, you've just, you've just come in and help everything get moving again, which is fantastic. And maybe, maybe just maybe, that's happening this morning as well. And should we have a look now? Is it okay to go to the chat?
Come on, let's have a look. I'm curious.
And we will stay with this, okay? So remember that, folks. If you're feeling, and that's the encouragement here. If you're feeling a little bit, that seems a little bit touchy-feely, or I could never do that in this sort of environment, you can give it a go, and I think you're going to be safe, quite frankly. No guarantees, because transformation is like that. It's sometimes a messy and bloody business, but I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it, after all, in the grand scheme of things. So the first comment is, worm poo makes great soil. So shout out to the worms. Well done, the worms there, just in case anyone was wondering. Compost is amazing. And I imagine James, who I appreciate as well. There's somebody from the Man Cave Movember thing that we did, the massive Movember Man chat. There is James personifying that it's okay to be a vulnerable, open, authentic male man. So shout out to you, James, for that. I do appreciate that about you and your commitment to kindness. Okay, like the Dalai Lama says, try and be kind, and it's always possible to be kind. And I know that's where you go. So shout out to you. I see you, man, and I see you, Thunder, as well. Such a great supporter, an asset to this show, and an incredible mind, as we know from the chess thing there. An incredible thinker, an intellect. And so much fun as well. What a great combination to be such a deep thinker as I know you, Thunder, but to be a real giggle as well. So love to you and to Brenda. Really appreciate you both and having come into our lives, and us as a family as well. So very, very appreciative to you and the friendship that we've created in this last year as well. Just a few months, really, isn't it? Ralph is here. Ralph Fontan. Hello, Jenny. Grusch aus Germany vom Pater. What's being said there?
Hi, Jen. Hi from Germany, from my godfather.
Some Pater. Okay, and a Grusch, which is nice as well.
Greetings.
So, greetings, Grusch. Okay, thank you for that. So what we're dealing with here now, Ralph, and to everybody, is we are in a thank fest, or a dank fest if you're German. Or a Dunkerfest, or I was thinking for Portugal, it could be we are in the Obrigadojo, aren't we? The dojo of gratitude. Step into the Obrigadojo, everybody, and give thanks. Sue's, okay, so the Canadian dollar is the loonie, and the $2 is the toonie. The bird is the loon on the coin. There you go. That's great to know. So this is the homework. 3 things. Just one of each of those is absolutely fine as well. Let's keep this attitude of gratitude. Jim White's kicking it off for us. The power of positivity. 3 things. The key to building community online, and Carl's ability to address conflict. Cheers, Jim. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Jim. And what another wonderful asset. And asset just sounds too rational and cold a word. But what a wonderful human being you are, Jim. And your story, when you told it to me and Louisa on the Feelgood show on a Saturday night, how you broke your own heart to be reborn, really, by the sound of it, and to give the world something new and something powerful. So we take our collective Gumper hat off to you as well, Jim. And lots of love to you and Mandy. Don't know you so well, Mandy, but we're so looking forward to getting to know you better and to developing that friendship and sharing that gift of yours, Jim. With everybody here in Portugal. Natalie is grateful to be living in Portugal, at my little acreage area. I've learned various trivia about things about my new country. I've encountered a lot of kindness and quirkiness this year. So happy. Kindness and quirkiness, that really is a thing here, isn't it? in Portugal. That's fantastic. And probably a lot to do with being an expat. Thank you, Natalie. And I don't know you very well, but I do know you as a very passionate person. Is the sense I get of you. And thank you for being here, Francis. Appreciating family more than ever. Thank you, Francis, for being another example of a vulnerable and strong man. Appreciating my family more than ever. Learned there's an amazing community in Portugal, and that we have people who truly care. And 3, I've encountered myself and become more self-aware, but keep learning. And that is how I know you, Francis. You've shared that and expressed yourself as that man here in this environment. So good on you. Keep up the good work, my friend. Ralph Fontan, good morning, Jenny, as well. So we had greetings both in English and German there. Bon dia from Pam this morning. Oh, look, Ralph is really keen to say hi. Another one. Good morning, Jenny. We've got that in now, Ralph. Non-farm payrolls are the American jobless figures, excluding farm workers. Oh, I see. Okay, that's cheerful stuff, isn't it? DJ, haha. And so we're going back, I think, to 9 o'clock now. Just tuned into the intro, made me laugh. Well, we're here to please. Sent Looney pic to WhatsApp. Oh, thanks, Suze, for that. Cindy B, grateful. I will focus on these this morning. Okay, now, folks. Grateful for the ability to move to Portugal. So grateful for the people I have and our meeting and this community. Grateful for the journey this year and for life. Cindy, so looking forward to meeting you. And thank you. You have shown yourself to be a beautiful communitarian. Looking at, you've had enough on your plate with your own journey here. And I know that you've made others comfortable and welcome and safe doing the same. So shout out and love to you for that in the Obrigado Joe this morning. I wasn't about the opinions, Carl. The individual was using misogynistic language and others objected to it. Okay, it wasn't about the opinions. Okay, fair enough. But it was an eggy atmosphere, nonetheless. And I think we're doing something a little bit different, which I have to say I prefer this morning. Celebrate what's right with the world. It frees up energy to fix what's wrong. Do it, Jones. Thank you. That's a very affirming name, isn't it? Do it. Yes, do it, do it. Thank you, Jim, for that. 3 sides to every story: yours, mine, and the truth. And isn't the juice in trying to find what that might be? Therein lies all the power of the conversation and communication, right? Okay, shall we try and find that truth? And that's a Garvo connection right there. I think he's trying to make contact. Send me a message, Garvo. And I know I've had loads come in on WhatsApp, so we'll hand the mic over to Jenny in just a moment after we've looked at a few more comments, so I can find out what's going on behind the scenes. Composting 101: don't add meat, bones, and cheese. Thank you for that. Composting, very important. I think both Jenny and I would agree with all of you on that, you compost fans. I'm grateful that I live in Portugal. I'm grateful for my friends, and I'm grateful to be part of Expats Portugal and helping people realize their dreams. And you do a beautiful job of that, Pam. So delighted to have met you and be working with you. And I know how modest you are about that as well. I see you. Agree with Don about at least the 3 sides to every story. I love. Cheers, William. Good morning to you. Thank you for the pickies. And we will get around to showing them all eventually. If not this morning, we will do that. We've got to catch up, haven't we? Tomorrow night as well. That's our place to do that. Anything we've missed tomorrow night with me and Mrs. M at 10. I love that both of you have a lightheartedness and funness with immense kindness and compassion. Thank you, Michelle. And I know you as a light-hearted and sensitive and beautiful soul as well, who's recently come into this community and gives to it in your own way there. And it's been a real pleasure to meet you too, Michelle. And positive energy fills the room with joy. Negative energy sucks the oxygen out of it. We notice this, don't we? And this is the thing, while we're trying to justify our opinions and our negativity, because that's what can happen, can't it? We can start to justify it. It just keeps going downwards. We've got to step in some, haven't we? And perhaps in the way that Jenny has been detailing today. Good morning, everyone from Joao F. Another lovely, wonderful. Keep using the word asset. I mean that well, don't you? I've seen all those movies, Carl, even have them on DVD. So Crouching Tiger, 3. And what are the other great sensitive warriors? My 3, finding inner peace, loving myself, and having spent time with the wonderful Jenni B. Yes, Owen. And you, my friend, another pillar, stalwart of this community. I am most grateful for that, says Owen, and every day. Owen, it is a pleasure, mate, to know you and have you as early on just like Garvo, part of this community. I don't know if you know it, but I've got you down as an elder of this community. And again, I don't mean that in a bad way. You and me both, and Garvo. You are a great man, and people will see that more and more the more you're here and sharing that with the community. They know that already. They know you for your incredible cookery and cuisine and the food alchemy. But that's, if I may say so, although that's incredible, that is a small part of your magnificence, which I hope we will see more and more of here in this environment. As people get to know you more, because you're a bit of a quiet guy as well. Share yourself more here. Maybe that's a resolution collectively for this community, Owen. Step up into the Obrigo Dojo with us. Warrior energy tends to transform itself at midlife into where am I needed and how can I serve? Yeah, rather than fighting in pubs, it does transfer itself, hopefully. But anger and frustration can be damaging if tucked away in small doses until an eruption of uncontrolled rage. Anger is a given emotion. It just needs to be respected and expressed with care. Thank you, Sue. You know a lot about this. Wow. I love that you believe I am this competent in Portuguese. I am the total beginner, she says, Michelle. Yeah, don't be shy, Michelle. You have a lot to give us. Those suffragettes should have stayed home. And counting their blessings. Oh, was this going back to yesterday? Come on, Eusebio, let it go, man. Come into the Obrigo Dojo with us this morning. I just finished reading today's comments so far, and I confess I am deeply touched by the kind words I've seen. Thank you so much for your love to this country and to this people. Joao, let me just do a thank you to you personally, and also to extend that to the incredible hospitality and kindness we felt from you. I'm really from you and your fellow countrymen here. And funnily enough, they're not all here in the country. A lot of the Portuguese supporters we have live elsewhere in the world, and they've used the Good Morning Portugal show as a way of staying in touch via expats with their own country. But it is so amazing, and I'm so grateful. I'm sure you are too, Jenny. Right? That how wonderful the experiences of Portugal through the Portuguese people. It can't happen, can it? Except through the people. And it's a gift that keeps on giving, no question, Joao. So thank you to you for being part of this and being so giving and generous, and as the exemplification of the Portuguese spirit. Most mornings here, Garvo, aka the Wizard. Yes, we'll get you. I mean, call in again, Garvo. Or actually, what I'll do is the easiest way of doing this. I'm going to send you the link now, Garvo, because he wants to come on and speak, and so he should, absolutely. So back to a few more comments. I feel that I am gaining new family members in a broader sense as well. Same here. It's same here. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet depreciate agitation are men who want crops without ploughing up the ground. Who was it who said that? Now, I don't know where this. Often we get a mismatch, don't we, with comments that relate to something that was said earlier on. But I would say, Eusebio, I'd reiterate that the internal struggle, the transformation as the taking yourself on, is especially poignant at the moment. The political way, it ain't going to stop anytime soon, is it? But I just think, I really want to say that the big power comes from the internal struggle, taking oneself on as much as it does, the finger pointing in the political environment. Got so much to say about this lady. Can you send me a link? Have done that, Garvo. We'll see you in just a minute, mate. My 3 best. 1, I like this safe country. 2, you are a great community, says Laura P. And being from all over the world is amazing. And 3, I finally settled in my own house facing the ocean. Thank you, folks. And can you see Jenny, are you feeling it like me? When we hear these, I actually can feel it in my heart. When we have a political ding dong and the battling yesterday, it's up here, and it's quite explosive and emotional, and I might feel it a bit in my belly as a sort of anger and agitation. But what's going on here? I got a different chakra activated this morning, Jenny. Are we all feeling that?
Yeah, I do, and it's just beautiful. Thank you so much, people, for sharing. It's just beyond words. Thank you so much.
Okay, here we go.
Ah, look at him.
Morning all, how are we doing?
Oh.
I couldn't let today go by right without a quick 60 seconds. And I know you're busy, and you know you've got a lot to cram in. So
You can have as long as you want. What I'm afraid of is that I'm going to be crying soon, and there aren't.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to blow my nose on Mrs. M's tarot card cloth again. That's no good.
I'll try not to make it too bad. Okay.
Cool.
Just to let you know how I met this crazy German chick, as I've called her now, right? She burst into my life as a bundle of energy and love, and something that I just couldn't quite get my head around straight away. But from that moment onwards, we seemed to have a great connection, which has grown into something truly beautiful, really, right? And the lady has her ups and downs like most people, and we've been there for each other and helped each other through some quite difficult times. The woman has got such an insight; it's just beyond comprehension sometimes when I see her. She's just wonderful. And what we tend to miss with this lady is that with the project of the Rainbow Guardians, she has seen that a lot of problems in people's lives are created in their formative years. So from a therapist's perspective, if we can catch these guys early and stop them being, getting these sort of little ideas about themselves and negativity, then we're going to start, producing a lot better people with more healthier outlooks and, a better world, really. And what a vision that is to you, Jen. What an absolute bloody vision that is. So complete and utter respect to you.
Oh, Gary. Carl said it before, if it wouldn't be for you, we wouldn't be here together. And we just spoke about it last week, that it's nearly 2 years now that we know each other, which is crazy. And it's been some ups and downs, and it's always been very deep, but also very light. And I will never forget that moment where I surprised myself with how much I trust you. And you are just one of the big lights really in my life, and I'm so endlessly grateful for you, and I can't wait to give you a big ass bear hug later.
Okay, I'll take that. Right, and the other thing is right, and you saying about trust, and I don't know whether you remember me telling you this, and this goes to anybody who's considering getting in contact with Jenny for whatever reason. I said to Jenny, and I truly meant it, you have that test where you stand, right, and somebody goes behind you and they say, fall back. Then that takes a lot of, trust and confidence. I would have no qualms in falling back with Jenny whatsoever. Absolutely not one. I'd do it instantly. So listen to this lady. She's got great insight. She's got a great mind, and she's got a great future. So I wish you the absolute best in your ventures, Jenny, and love you lots.
I love you too. Thank you so much.
You say that like you're going anywhere. You're staying with us now, Gary, for the rest of the show, okay?
I've got a busy day today, mate. I've got things to do. And Jenny knows what that's about.
Okay, well, we'll let you go. But just to let you know, you've got a horse coming out of your ear as well.
Yeah,
so
that's one of the maestro's paintings behind me.
Oh, wow.
It's beautiful, yes.
I thought that's what you had to do. When you sit like that, it looks like you need to go to the emergency room to get that removed.
Horse neck coming down on my head.
Just before you go, I mean, this is an important thing, and we need to help people find out where to support the project. That is a really poignant and moving point you made there, Garvo, about how it's funny, isn't it? You and I, and thank you to you while you're here for being such an amazing part of this community, quietly solid, man of reason, all that kind of stuff. Always there when people need you, like a dad and granddad of this community, right? In a good way. And he's always got an old boiled sweet in his pocket to give the kids.
Oh yes, I have.
And I think we've got an interesting psychological therapeutic phenomenon going on, haven't we? Since our grandparents and our parents' time. And it looks like it's quickening or changing, you know, and it's easy to knock the baby boomers and the Victorians, how repressed and all of that. And they were just products like we all are of the times they were in. And you kind of go with each generation could maybe do it a little bit better and have a little bit more comfort, to have a little bit more insight as their hierarchy of needs is addressed, for one thing. I mean, what chance did they stand in the industrial bloody revolution and then the Second World War? How could these people work on themselves with such massive traumas going on in their lives? So us spoilt brats came along out after the baby boomers. I'm putting you and me in that category, Gary. And we had a little bit more time and space on our hands to look into our navels. And I hope we've done something useful with that. And then Jenny's generation comes along, who's doing even more with that. And then she's looking forward to the next lot, isn't she? And this project is really important. So where we didn't start thinking about things like this, possibly where we might be able to heal and transform ourselves till we were in our 50s or 60s, she's looking at, hold on a minute, maybe we don't need people to be so messed up from the teenage and younger times, and then we won't have such a bloody mess. And arguably, it's that mess that causes people that, in a way that we might see around us now, to be acting out psychopathy and controlling other people and being beastly through politics or social control or this stuff. These are all psychological problems as far as I can see. So hopefully we are nurturing, giving birth to and nurturing a much more healthy in every respect. It's not just that they've got a COVID certificate now when they're born, it's that they might be psychologically healthy. And it will be thanks to people like Jenny to do that. So Jenny, how are we going to support your work in doing this and making these youngsters more healthy, more mentally hygienic than we have been, arguably?
You know, Carl, it's interesting that you say that. And I agree with all of you until the point where you said it was about the psychological health. Because, as you know, it's not just that, it's about being wholly healthy.
Yes.
So exactly. It is about learning how you all tie together. So in the Rainbow Guardians program, the kids will learn how to discover their own superpowers that we all have within. But then we enter school and then we learn, oh, you're better or you're worse than that, than the other, whatever. And nobody alongside the line, or well, I don't know how it was for you, but nobody alongside the line told me that this does not define my self-value. So it is really to establish this trust, to help the kids to understand that all they have, all they need is already within, and how to access these superpowers.
Yeah.
And how you can support me in that, we will find out next time, because I thought for January we can do the big Rainbow Guardians show.
Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. And also, when this is talked about, a lot of people suddenly say, well, it's all very well teaching the kids this stuff. Us messed up grown-ups need to know about it as well. So you do address all ages, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
and you know, for me, the beauty in it is, I believe children are our greatest teachers. And it is about us to be open for it.
Yeah.
And this also ties in with the vulnerability, because you want to be perfect, but sorry, I think we all agree nobody is. But that's the beauty in it. Yeah, I know, Carl. Breaking news for you. Write that down. So, and the beauty in is when it comes to the point of admitting that also towards your children, and then learning together. And that is really that would be the ideal. And if we as grown-ups are able to step one little tiny step back in our ego pride and allow ourselves to receive the love these children have, because this is where it comes from. Yeah. There is no such thing like jealousy or anger or hatred or anything like that. From them, it all comes from this loving point of view. And we have all been this love. We have all been born in this love. So it's about remembering, and the kids are such a big invitation for us to remember. And is it not just the most beautiful thing if we can embrace this evolvement together?
True. Okay, so January it is. We'll be back with the Rainbow Guardians. Go on, Garvo.
That's a very good point, and you should know this, Carl, more than anybody else. You're not born just a parent. You don't know everything, do you? So when you become a parent, you're learning too, and the kids are learning as well. So everybody's learning together, but we usually see that. We're so fixed on the role of being a parent, and this is what we believe you've got to do, that we don't adapt with the kids that come in. And how many times have your kids come back, from doing something, and they've given you or shown you something, and you've gone, wow, that's fantastic.
Well,
And each child is different.
Yeah, I've got a confession to make about that, because of the, the certain ways of being in the world. I know I caught myself this week, and something's changed actually. It's funny you should say that this very week. It's very easy for parents, and this is not a telling off to parents. This is just something you might consider. I've got young kids. I've been bringing up kids for I think 4 decades or something now, and there's always young kids around in my life, and I've got young children now, and I realized the other day that when you say wow, it can be quite mechanized and habitual. So you're meant to say, wow, that's amazing. And I for some quirk of circumstance, I've got more time, or something's changed for me in a way that I don't have to do a mechanized, habitual. Wow, that's amazing, because that's what you're supposed to say to kids. That's really good. Now let me get on with my work. Something else happened this week where I could truly see it at a deeper level, and I was very moved actually when I was shown something, and I could appreciate a deeper. Exactly what Jenny's talking about, a deeper sense of what had gone on for the children making things that they put their heart and soul into, that we're not capable of anymore, it would seem. We're so self-critical, aren't we, and all these things that have happened to us, that we don't go about making things in the same way that children do. And they bring this thing made of, like my pipe cleaner or my microphone here. Now this is made by one of the kids. And they put so much into it, and it's so easy to go, that's great, thank you very much. Okay, let me get on with my work. And you just do a platitude. I had my heart broken a little bit more this week, or opened up a bit more to actually stop and think or consider it properly and be truly aware of what they've put into it. And actually, they don't really want much, do they? Because it's all spontaneous to them as well. They're not looking for a certificate, or you know how it is in school now. Yes, well, we need to write down that in your record of achievement, and you'll get this week's Friday prize for being. What they want, I think, is just in that moment, isn't it? It's connection, to be seen as creating something. And I think we can do more of that. There's definitely room for improvement in that.
A wise person once said the most valuable thing you can give your children is time.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And it's not always easy, is it? But we can start to create a culture in where that might be more possible, right?
And is it not also, this time thing, and what you were just saying with the certificate they're not looking for, but this one little moment of appreciation.
Mm.
And is it not exactly this, what we also so often miss or underestimate in all the everyday lives in any sort of relationship? Is all these things become kind of like for granted, and the pleases and the thank yous and all that. This is why I really am such a big fan of sharing compliments, and not let any day pass, or particularly as a family, before you leave the house, until everybody does its thing throughout the day. Tell yourselves what you love about each other. It's so beautiful, and it just gives you a really good feeling to start the day with.
Well, it's true, because I get this with Mrs. M. I keep saying, look, not now, love. You've definitely got this Friday's Wife of the Week certificate. Can we not just do it then when I present you with a certificate? But she just wants to be loved in the moment. I don't know what's wrong with her, but So I'll take your advice on that, Jenny B, and we'll do away with the Wife of the Week certificate, and we'll acknowledge in the moment. It's so important, isn't it,
Yes.
to do it in the moment, and get rid of all these bloody rational stupidities as much as possible that we seem to have veered into since the 80s or whatever it was. Garvo, I think you've got to go and have a horse removed from your ear. We've got lots of comments.
That's going to be obviously take some time. Jen, enjoy the rest of the show, and just absorb all those lovely comments.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much, Gary, for tuning in and
Okay.
for being you.
Yes,
Love
love
you
to the
both.
gang there.
All take care.
Yeah, love to the gang there as well. Thanks for dropping by. Cheers, mate. Bye for now.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Garvo, back to Al Viagra, upstanding citizen of Al Viagra. Okay, it's 2 minutes past 10. So the two rules of radio, dead air and the clock, both have been killed today. In fact, we did dead air so well; it's sort of come back to life. It's been resurrected
Yes.
as a new age of radio. And it's 2 minutes past 10, and we must acknowledge you guys for your lovely comments here. This is what we'll finish with today. James Holly, in his book Shambhala, The Path of the Warrior, Chogyam Trungpa refers to the courageous warrior as one who interacts with the world with a tender, broken, open heart. So there you go. Antonio F is here. Look, warrior picture. Sparta, or that's Lisboa. Who? Bon dia todos y todas. Good morning to you. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. I can imagine Gerard Butler saying that with another, oh, thanks for that, Eusebio. Real fearlessness is the product of tenderness. It comes from letting the world tickle your heart and raw, tender and beautiful heart. Thank you, James. You see, this is what I was talking about. You're willing to open up without resistance or shyness and face the world. You are willing to share your heart with others. That's Trungpa there. This struggle may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical. But it must be a struggle, says Prof. Eusebio. Well, you made the point about holistics. You brought the word holistic in, didn't you? You played the holistic card. And I think that's really important. At all levels, there may well be a struggle going on. But let's not forget that you know the all parts might be included, right? Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Frederick Douglass, I think we've got Eusebio going this morning. Bon dia, Antonio from Michelle, and I won't read the ats. I'll leave those. We're going to just go to let's stay with the obrigadojo comments. Lonnie McLaughlin. I'm grateful for discovering and taking responsibility and opportunity I have for being an elder. As an elder with less energy to waste, I have the privilege to live life in service of others. Well, I hear you, Lonnie, and so glad to have you in our community. And I saw you this week in action, as it were, in that service to others. And you are an extraordinary coach and human being. There's no question about that. And I look forward to seeing. I'm so grateful to you for being here as that. And with that, and I look forward to its results, I really do. And thank you so much for showing up, my friend. Gratitude and appreciation are powerful healers. Yeah, cheers, James. Birthdays all round. We're off to Alcobaça to celebrate our bestie's birthday today. Parabéns, Veronica. Parabéns, Veronica. And a little bit told me it was Louise's birthday yesterday of Expat Solo 50 Plus. Deluge her if you have her contact details with birthday wishes, perhaps belated. But we missed out on that when we spoke to Cindy yesterday. So happy birthday, Louise, and to Veronica. Yes, and to us, Feel Good Friday. Yes, Jenny, gratitude is absolutely the key to my peace. Mandy, I appreciate Carl and Jenny B consistency in showing up and keeping it real. Cheers, Mandy. And I do see you, and I thank you for you chipping in, popping up, and I do really look forward to seeing you and Jim and getting to know you better as friends. Here, Jenny. That could have been for any number of comments this morning, couldn't it? Look how far back the comments go. Mango Lassie's rule, which is a different thing in Scotland, isn't it? A Mango Lassie. Yes, Carl, what Jenny said and more. Your face looks so sweet taking that in, Carl. Oh, cheers. I totally agree, Jenny. So true, Jenny. Carl, do an amazing service to the community. Oh, cheers, Nuno. I appreciate my wonderful builder, Miguel, who lifted me from a low point by a smile and positivity every morning. He has got an incredible smile, that man. And I appreciate him, and we appreciate you, St. Catherine. I hope it's kind of embodied in your nickname, St. Catherine, but you have been such a blessing to us. Kate, thank you so much to you and all you do for our family. Not to mention a model of Portuguese integrity. That's Miguel there. Thanks to you, Miguel. Expats have brought together so many people who share their experiences in Portugal, how to deal with the new aspects of living and integrating into Portugal. Oh, and Carl likes poles with duct tape. It's so true. I cannot lie. The most powerful appreciation about being rather than doing. Appreciating the quality of a person rather than what they do. Both are great, but being is the most powerful. Yeah, what are you being today, folks? Requesting you enlarge your screens, please. Enough cute pineapple. Okay, that's done now. Appreciating our being tells us we're being seen for who we are. And that's what we want, isn't it? People want to be. I think this is what my life's about. This is a question that Lonnie was asking, what's important to you? And what's important to me is It's helping people be who they really are. And that's why I like Portugal. So I think it's possible here. I think it's more possible than many other places. It's not intrinsically Portugal. I mean, there are so many intrinsically brilliant things about Portugal. But what's so great about being here is the possibility that people might, in these crazy times in the world, have the chance of being who they really are. Because I think that's missing in the globalized world. You know, people are being turned into products and not being what they really are, a human being, human doings, right? And the other part of being what you are is to be seen to be being what you are. That's important as well. And I think that's what James is saying here. That's what I'm about. I've taught appreciation to parents for years. Well done, James. Great contributions to you. A while ago, that came out wrong. I want to say I feel I'm gaining a new family members, all of you who love this country in a broader sense. We got you, Joel. We got the love and intention there. That's very kind, Carlton. Every minute, every moment of that, Thunder. Jenni B's, es freut mich sehr jedes Mal, wenn Sie in diesem Show dran sind. That's for you from Joel. What did he say there?
That he really enjoys every time when I'm in the show.
Oh, cool. Appreciate, Louisa, and your parenting from St. Catherine. Your children are so fortunate to have such aware and loving parents. Freedom is a rare commodity in childhood. Oh, cheers, Kate. Portuguese phrase of the day. Boas festas, Feliz Natal, light up Christmas. What is light up Christmas in Portuguese? The appropriate phrases for the Christmas season. Thank you for that, Antonio F. I already joined the conversation, but sit quietly in the background, consuming all the constructive and positive support, guidance and inspiration. Hugely grateful. Muito obrigado. We see you, Mark. Absolutely. No less an important part of our community for your quietness. I see you. Thank you to João and Antonio, who make me feel so welcome to Portugal, even though I'm in Australia for now. You both always help me. Isn't that lovely? Echoing that sentiment about Portuguese people. Yes, and the people in our Portuguese community here. You can feel it in your heart. What a gift this conversation is. Cheers. I'm feeling it too. Can you feel the love this morning? Gary! Yeah, there from Simon. Mike, grateful. 3, grateful to be building memories, not dreams. Nice. Grateful to be happy. Grateful to be who I am. Mark, thank you for that. Fix issues at the source, not wait a lifetime to do that. Yes, Matty, absolutely. Absolutely agree. Help the kiddos for a better world. Wasn't the best parent by any measure, but my kids are amazing adults. Well, I'm sure, that's a great, what would that be? Acknowledgement. I wasn't a great parent by any means either. And I'm sure, there will always be areas for improvement, won't there? In parenting seems to go with the territory. But I'm sure your kids are amazing adults because of how great you are as well, Khadija, it has to be said. So I'm going to make sure there's balance there in your admission, because I'm sure they think you're amazing, or they know it. Sometimes kids just know it at a level, don't they? Even though they might not say it. Okay, apologies. Clearly not on the same wavelength this morning. See you all next week. Bon fin de semana. No need to apologize. I hope you're still here, Prof. Agree with help the kids. I wasn't the best parent. Oh, so we've done that one. They are so far away from dysfunction I grew up in. Takes work for sure. Yes, and if we take a 7-generation view, as some people used to do, we can forgive ourselves, can't we? That we're part of a progress towards something better and transformation. It doesn't have to all be done in one go by one person. We can share this responsibility and make it easier, right? But you're part of it, Rebel Mama, no question. I don't want you to take anything away from yourself in this endeavor. I'm a middle era baby boomer. Life has been an ongoing quest for personal growth and like-minded community. Well, I hope we are in some way helping with that. Bon dia, Faija de Jazz Funk, do dia, Change of Heart. Now, there you go. Perfect. And there are so many transformational songs in the canon of the Jazz Funk there, in the record stack of the Jazz Funk. That's a good one. Change of Heart by Change. Got to check out the Airbnb back to the Alto Minho. Oh, checking out Bon Fin de Semana. We're working our way to the Bon Fin de Semanas, and the lots of loves and gratitudes for everybody this morning. Loved the show today, guys. Sit back and listen and reflect. The words, best tennis player has a coach. Yes. In life, we all need a coach to help provide insight. The third eye. Well said, Chris. Nicely said. Responsible and active parenting could be the answer. Thank you, Nunu, for that. Jenny, I find your vulnerability to allow us to see helps me to go there a tiny bit. I'm sure it's bigger than you give yourself credit for, Michelle. You lead the way for me. How lovely. So true. For parents I work with who say they don't have the time to get the exercise they want to get. I encourage them to go play with their children outside. Well done. It's a win-win. Having time for exercise, in inverted commas, priority thing. If you know how important it is for you and your body, you make time for it. Same as people saying I've money for training, but have expensive stuff. Carl, I have met you and your family. It was very taken at the time. I was very taken at the time you give your children. It's truly okay. Thanks for that. You're my third eye on that. Thank you, Chris. Yes, and appreciate the quality of the child that had them make the pipe cleaner piece for you. Absolutely. I will do. That's a note to self for me. I really saw something with that. Good morning to everyone. Lovely to see you, Jenny. You are amazing with 3 A's in there. Well, you aired later, so not done yet. Hit those extra 2 minutes. You German stickler, you. Such a great show today. Love you all. Bon fin de semana. Fika bang. Cheers, Cindy. Bon fin de semana. I have to go. Didn't realize the time and have to dash for a meeting. Thanks for a great show. Here, Lonnie. Ciao for now. Don't forget to hit that like button. Avatar, I see you in place of I love you. It works, doesn't it? It's powerful when you say I see you to someone. Farewell until Monday, beautiful ones. Got email from Seth after learning Cindy got PT residency via Norway. It has website links and did not answer my question. Got so excited. Need help in getting there. Have a great weekend all. See what we can do about that. Get it in the forum. Love, anger, and need are like primary colors. Other emotions are secondary and so on. Okay, Suze, thank you for that. Let's just finish by saying thank you to Jenni B, the mainstay, the reason for Feel Good Friday. Thank you so much, Jenny. We will see you in January. This is, of course, the last show for December. Boas Festas, Feliz Natal, and onward to 2022 with some work and some development and some investment of every holistic investment, not just the money. The other stuff's important as well, isn't it? For the Rainbow Guardians. Cheers, Jenny. Last word to you.
Thank you, Carl, so much for having me here, for giving me this space, for giving me all this love. Thank you, all the people, for always being here and sharing all this with us, and also for your love and for all of your support. And I really, really, really look forward to share more with you next year. And particularly, I'm super excited to go all in the depth about the Rainbow Guardians Kids Project with you.
Bon fin de semana, lots of love. Ciao for now. Keep being grateful. Go out there and be grateful, folks. Bye for now.